Well, hey guys, welcome to the Hunter's Quest podcast. It's good to be back with you again and coming to you from what is probably for the first time from my new studio here. Really looking forward to everything we got coming down the line, and man, I just feel super blessed to have this new studio set up and all this amazing gear and equipment here to bring you this content. And man, we got some really cool stuff coming down the line. I'm really excited about this year. I got 4 or 5 hunts lined up for this fall and winter. Still waiting on one possible secondary draw tag in Wyoming. Just waiting to hear back about that. But either way, it's going to be a really great year. I'm looking forward to bringing out all these films we're going to do and keeping the podcast coming. And also got some cool partnerships that I've been working on. So, I've mentioned it before. You may have already know about it, but working on a new partnership, or got a new partnership here with Go Hunt. I've been using Go Hunt for years to help me look for, find units and find opportunities and tags. So right now, if you use the code QUEST at Go Hunt, if you want to become an insider, if you want to join their get an Explorer membership. It's got mapping for all 50 states, and they got some really cool features on there, some stuff that's not really available on some of the other apps, and just the way you can look at terrain and filter different things and different layers on there. It's really cool. I've been playing with it a little bit, and also lastly, outdoor class. I mentioned it before in a post this week, but it's a e-learning platform, and they got great modules on there from like Remy Warren and Randy Newberg, Corey Jacobson, Brian Call, and Ryan Lampers are going to do some. Mark Livesey. Really cool resource. So, in the gear shop over there, they don't just sell anything. They sell the best stuff. It's kind of curated. So if you need any gear, or if you want to become an insider, or get that Explorer membership, I highly recommend Go Hunt. And if you do any of those places, use the code QUEST. I really ask that if you like to support the show, you like what we're doing here, and you need something gear-wise, or you want to get in there and join Go Hunt, use that code QUEST, because you'll be directly helping to support the show and getting great products and services through Go Hunt. Also with Initial Ascent, if you're looking for a great pack, use the code QUEST there, save some money. And lastly, Heather's Choice. Heather's one of my oldest kind of friends in the industry, and she's been kind of partnered with me for a while now, and she just came out with a whole new revamped lineup of recipes and stuff, and I haven't tried them all yet, but actually looking forward to, in a couple weeks, doing a video and a podcast with her where I'm going to kind of, in real time, taste test some of her new meals while I'm talking to her and having her explain all those things to me. So that's going to be really cool. Keep your eye out for that. But, all those places and a few more down below in the description. Use the code QUEST and help support the show and get some great products. But today I have a podcast with a guy who is a very interesting guy. Like a lot of my guests, he's been around the hunting industry for a long time. You may have heard of his name. His name's Jon Gabrio. He's also an entrepreneur. He's got an advertising firm that he has started and runs. And he's worked with companies like Loophole, and he's also got a really killer film coming out. Him and my good buddy Luke Dusenberry filmed a rifle elk hunt, and that film is going to come out on the Loophole YouTube channel, I believe August 2nd. And because Luke's a friend of mine, I got a chance to check the film out already. And I'm not exaggerating, guys. And it's some of the coolest and most beautiful elk hunting footage I've ever seen. Like it's a really, really cool film, and it's just shot beautifully. Luke did a killer job, and of course Jon did a great job hunting on that hunt. He passed up a really killer bull in the beginning, but I don't want to give you more spoiler alerts. I hope I didn't say too much already, but it's a great film, so check out that on the Loophole YouTube channel, I believe August 2nd. But anyway, Jon's a great guy. We have a great conversation today about entrepreneurialism, about hunting, the industry, marketing, and just just a host of cool topics. So I think you guys will really enjoy this episode. As always, it's super helpful if you can support me by leaving a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. Also share the podcast with friends and family. That's really helpful. And, if you can, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Search my name, Hunter McWaters, or The Hunter's Quest on YouTube, and you'll find me. And then you can stay up to date on the cool films I got coming out and updated podcasts coming out. So it's going to be a great year. Really looking forward to it. Really appreciate y'all's support. Hope you'll hang in there and keep tuning in. And let's just jump into this podcast with Jon Gabrio. It's a good one. I think you'll really enjoy it. So we'll see you guys on the next one. So yeah, welcome to the podcast. I'm here with my guest this week, Jon Gabrio. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good. So yeah, a lot of my guests I've had the pleasure of meeting before, and I actually do remember seeing you at the expo, but I didn't know you, so I didn't come up and say hi. But yeah, I really don't know you, so I'm looking forward to just kind of chatting and get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Be all for it here. I've seen you down at the expo likewise. And,
Okay.
it's kind of weird when you're at the expo or any of these events really, and you see people, it's like, hey, I know who you are, but, I don't, or it's like, I know who you are, but then you get busy and you end up talking to someone and you're talking to somebody else and you don't want to go interrupt them. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
it is what it is,
Yep.
but
That's
it's all
cool.
good.
We'll connect next time, for sure. But I knew you're friends with Dan Staten, and I've done some work with him um, and stuff like that. So yeah, I saw you. It was exactly like you just mentioned. You were talking to somebody. And I was like, I know that guy, and I hadn't heard your name, but I didn't want to just go up. And I was already like, meeting so many people at that thing because I've been doing this podcast for like a little over a year now and made some really cool connections. But I live on the East Coast, so going out there was just like it was like constant, just trying to meet everybody I could.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, for a lot of us, if we live out here, you go to those shows every year. So it's like you've been doing it for 10 years and it's kind of more of a, oh, hey, catch up, shake hands, go see someone, have a beer and, at night type of thing or whatever. And it's kind of
Yeah.
that, rekindling your friendship, over the years. But it's always fun because I feel like being in the industry, with my business, and whatnot, it's like, what 11, 12 years deep in it now, but it's like you meet a lot of people and then it's like every year I feel like someone new comes into the scene, or like yourself with your
Hmm.
podcast, and stuff, and it's like, oh hey, there's someone else that's passionate about what we do and loves it as much as the rest of us, and it's like, hey, yeah, there's a new guy, and
Yep.
so it's like you want to meet them and kind
Yeah.
of get a chance to hear their life stories, I guess, and like what they enjoy. So yeah, I mean, it's always fun to explore that side of things, and that's why I love going to the shows. It's like you just meet so many good people.
Yeah.
So
For sure, man. It was a great time. I'm already looking forward to the next one. But yeah, just tell me a little bit just about yourself, man, about your background, like your history, and then I do want to also hear about like I know that's another thing I'm really interested in is entrepreneurship. And I think a lot of people in this space are, and I think there's a lot of correlation between hunting and going on these big adventures and the adventure of like starting a business and there's a lot of cool like entrepreneurship in this space. So, but yeah, just not trying to jump ahead. Just tell me a little bit about yourself and your background, man.
yeah, for sure. Excuse me. So I started my business Apex Advertising about 11 years ago now, I guess somewhere in there. And I do a lot of design work and marketing in the hunting and outdoor space. So I mean, I'd
Nice.
say 95% of my business is probably hunting, fishing, outdoor outfitters, related. And then I do, a little bit of stuff here and there for, you know, friends that I have, or families, outside of it. It might be a
Mm-hmm.
coffee company or, dog daycare I've done stuff for. I mean, you name it, just small stuff that people need. But my main focus is designing logos, apparel, ads, websites. I do a lot of web design work. That's kind of, I'd say, most of my business. And then online marketing, social media marketing and, email marketing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my one kind of my bread and butter, my primary focus, working with a lot of the, big companies in the industry. I do a lot of stuff with like Phelps, I mean, that's, Dirk and Jason are, two of my really good friends, and,
Nice.
been friends for a long time and hunting partners and whatnot. And so I do pretty much, all the email marketing, and a lot of design work and stuff. Anything you kind of see come out of Phelps is me. And
Cool.
then, I've done stuff for so many people in this industry. I mean, Kafaru and Cam Haynes, like his Keep Hammering logo. I'm the one that came up with that. And then,
Oh, nice.
yeah. And so I, built his website. And then, yeah, I mean, so many different companies, Full Draw Film Tour, Northwest Mountain Challenge, Black Ovis. I mean, you name it. I've done stuff for tons of people in this industry, but Dan, obviously. And then my second business that Dan and I actually own now is the Elk Collective.
Yeah.
And so basically that's an online education resource, for teaching people how to hunt elk. So somebody from the East Coast, coincidentally, we get a lot of people from the Midwest and East that, want to come out here. And so that's honestly a lot of the members that sign up are from the Elk Collective, are from the East Coast. So basically teach people how to hunt elk, how to use elk calls, how to get tags, what gear they need, fitness, nutrition, setting up their bows, prep, you
Wow.
name it.
Everything.
So everything. And so there's over 160 videos on there now.
Wow.
So that's kind of my other business.
So
And then,
you kind of start by offering some free information and stuff like that on social media and whatnot, and then if you want to go more in depth, it's like a what's it called, subscription kind of service or something.
yep. So people go sign up and join, and it's a yearly membership. We do offer a monthly one as well.
That's
So,
cool.
people only want to, go to a monthly, type thing and only pay $10 a month. They can do that to get access. So just to make
Yeah.
it more affordable.
How's it
But
been
yeah,
going?
super good. I mean, it's busy as can be. And I
I bet.
mean, it's tough with trying to juggle that and then juggle, my design work and everything else, which is my main business, so
Yeah.
it's like sometimes get a little behind on the other, but it is what it is. I mean, I think that's, if you're an entrepreneur and like the business life, I guess it's like my brain never sleeps and never shuts off. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I work, honestly, I people probably think I'm joking, but I literally, when hunting season's over, in like kind of end of November for me, usually from then until honestly right now, like ish time frame, like I do not take a day off. Like I
Mm-hmm.
literally work every single day from basically December to May, June-ish. And then I'll start scouting, and like hunting for myself and, trying to, do some stuff. But like there's literally not a day that goes by for like 6 months where I'm not working.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's in
that's the cool thing about being an entrepreneur. If you're doing something you love, is you're already always thinking about this stuff. So it's kind of like, you might as well just turn all that mental energy, and like synergize it and just like make it your business.
exactly. And I think, that's the big thing, I mean, a lot of people, you get questions from people all the time, and they're like, how are you able to go hunt? Like you're always in the woods hunting or, during the fall or this or that, and it's like, yeah, that's how I designed my life. It
Mm-hmm.
was like when I got out of college, I was like, I want to hunt during the fall. Like September, I want to take 30 days off and,
Right.
I want to hunt elk, 2, 3 states. Like that was my goal in life. And so I was just like, how am I going to make that work?
Right.
And it was like,
Because you
I got to
can't do
start.
that with a normal job.
No,
I
it's
tried. They almost fired me, and then I had to quit.
yeah, exactly. So it was like, how am I going to get there? So I think that was kind of my biggest thing, was like, I got to start my own business. Like I'm going to have to be self-employed. I'm going to have to do it
Mm.
and figure it out. And so I
Maybe
went for
that's why there's so many entrepreneurs in this space, is because like it's the only way to do it.
it is. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know. I have one buddy that works at Boeing, and I give him a bad time because he gets more vacation than any of us, I swear. And he's like, just works for the man under the Boeing roof, but he's always like, oh, I got 140 hours here and 180 hours over there, and I'm like, how do you have that much time
Yeah.
off? Like you
Crazy.
work for someone. But
That's
aside from
that's
him,
rare. That's rare.
yeah, that he's the rare breed out there. But everybody else, it's like you get that 2 to 3 weeks off a year, and you better figure out what you're doing,
Yeah.
and accordingly.
And then
So
if you got kids and a family, it's like it's hard to justify to your wife or whatever, like, okay, well, I got 3 weeks of vacation this year and I'm using all of it at one time to go hunting.
yeah, that
It's like,
doesn't go
no.
over too well. Yeah,
Right.
they don't like that. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so basically, I think that that's kind of why I did what I did was just I wanted to hunt and I love it, and that's kind of thankfully my other half loves hunting too, so
That's
it
cool.
makes she understands the passion, I guess, and you're able to kind of go out and enjoy and do what you want to do. And the thing is, there's a lot of sacrifices that come along the way where people don't really understand. They're like, "Oh, you're running this business, you're hunting all the time, you're doing this, you're doing that." And it's like, yeah, I am. But at the same time, what you guys don't see are the 16, sometimes 18-hour days I've put in on work behind the scenes. And on top of that, it's like I'm addicted to the process of hunting, like whether it's scouting, or like, on just even looking at like maps online at night, like on Onyx or something, studying,
Hmm.
or truly going out in the field or this or that. And it's like, or prepping my gear. Like I don't post a lot of that stuff, but it's like, that's where people don't understand like how much time I truly put into everything. And I'm passionate about it. I mean, I'll be honest, like spring bear season's open right now. And I don't think there's been a night here for the last probably month that I haven't went to bed looking at Onyx, like trying to, find spots like where can
Yeah.
we go find this bear, this or that, and
Yeah.
it's like the other half gives me crap sometimes. She's like, "Are you really? You're back looking at maps again tonight? Like we were just there, And I'm like, "Yeah, but we didn't kill it, so like, where's it
Yeah.
gonna go?" And I don't know. It's just like part of it, but
That's cool
that
that your wife gets that too, because I was showing my wife my pictures last night from my spring bear hunt, and she was like, "What? I just don't see how that's fun." Like we got rained on every single day. I'm like, "This is the tarp I had to sit under for 6 hours. This is me
yeah,
waiting for this bear to move for 5 hours and then not killing it." She's like, "How is this fun?"
yeah. People, some people, I mean, it's hard. They just don't understand that. I mean, heck, I even
Yeah.
have buddies that don't understand why we do what we do.
Yeah. And
It's
the
like
the fact of the matter is, not every minute of it is fun.
that. You're 100% right. Like, there's been times I've been out there and it is so miserable. You're sitting there, you're cold, you're wet, like it just you're tired,
Hmm.
like things just aren't going right. And it's like, yeah, would I rather be sitting at home, with a hot cup of coffee and a fire and watching TV? Yeah, probably. But it's like, you don't get to the end result of notching your tag without going through the suffer. And
Yep.
it's like, and that's all I tell myself is like, how many days on this hunt am I going to have to suffer until something goes right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if I just mentally check that off and I'm like, okay, this is part of it, like we'll get there,
Yeah.
then
It's a
I'll,
whole experience. It's not just like a one like quick, fun type thing.
yeah.
Um, but that's cool, man. How did you get into the whole graphic design world and web development and all that stuff? Did you go to school for it, or did you just kind of pick it up on your own? Or are you just like a artistic type, or what's up with that?
Yeah, so kind of halfway, I guess, one way, both ways. I when I was like in ninth grade, it was like, shoot, that's been a while ago now. I'm dating myself here, but
How old are you?
34.
Okay, cool. I'm 35.
Okay, so yeah, I when I was in ninth grade, I literally was like, I want to learn how to build websites, and back then, it was
Wow,
like.
that was a smart move.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I look back now and I'm like, that paid off, right?
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like one of those things. I literally came home one day and I was like, I want to learn how to build a site. And my mom bought me one of those yellow website for dummies 101 books.
Oh,
And
cool.
I literally read the thing and taught myself how to code. Like
Wow.
yeah, I was like,
That's
oh, this
cool.
is cool. And I like went through and read the whole book and just taught
Wow.
myself like how to code a website. And granted, back then it was way less sophisticated than they are now,
Right.
but
But they
it
didn't
was.
have like Wix and Squarespace where you can just like drag and drop probably. You probably had to actually like do all the coding and stuff,
Yeah, you had to code and like make everything. And
which is
so,
crazy.
which is good though, because now, like a lot of clients that I'll get, it's like I've had a lot of people that use Wix or Squarespace or whatever, and then you can only do so much. So
Yeah,
everything I build is like fully custom. I don't build anything on those platforms.
sure.
Um, excuse me, just because you can get more out of a custom built site.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that, and it's kind of how I started, taught myself that. And then one day just kind of picked up design. I was like, oh, well, okay, I know how to build a website, but now I need to figure out how to do some of these graphics, and whatnot along with it. And of course, that was way back when, Photoshop and everything was kind of like newer. And I mean, it was around, but it was in its growing stages. And so I just kind of picked it up and started dinking around and learning how to mess with Photoshop on my own. And then I went to University of Washington for marketing and finance. So
Cool.
I always loved numbers, was really good at it. And then marketing, I was like, okay, I got to figure out like, how to market companies or how to, do this or that. And honestly, being from Washington, I was just south of Seattle, about 45 minutes there. I always thought I'd go work at like, Amazon or Microsoft or something, and like go do marketing at one of those companies. Like I just kind of always thought that would be my path.
Hmm.
And I had people that, friends that worked there and stuff like that too. And so just, that's where I thought I'd go. So then kind of an odd deal. I grew up racing motocross, and I was
Oh,
working
nice.
at a motorcycle dealership, like right at kind of in high school and just out of when I was going into University of Washington there,
Mm-hmm.
and selling motorcycles. And then they promoted me to the finance manager in the dealership. And I'm like 18, 19 years old, running the F&I, doing all the paperwork in the whole dealership, which is like the second highest position in the dealership aside from the owner. And I just, like, I was good at it. And like, I just knew the numbers, and I knew, how to sell, and like did everything. And then I went into one of my brother's buddies did home loans, and he was like, hey, you need to come over and like start doing loans. And that was when 2006, 7, 8, like when the market was like booming before the big
Yeah.
crash. And so I was like, okay, yeah, like I'll give it a shot. So I'm going to, college, start doing loans, and we were just like crushing it. And then one of my buddies, I started doing a bunch of design work for these real estate agents. And it was like, designing, all their rider signs, flyers, doing marketing for them so they could get business, people to come to them that they could sell a house to.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of how I went down that path. While I was doing so much of that pretty quick for like other people in the office and like all these other agents, then it was like, hey, you need to start your own business doing design work. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I could do that. And I didn't think anything about it at the time. No, I was like, dude, this is good. Well, then the market started to crash, and I was like, oh, okay, we got like might need to figure something out here.
Yeah.
And so then honestly, it was weird. I was, promoting it on, my Facebook and stuff, and, didn't really think anything about it. And it kind of just like all of a sudden people started contacting me wanting, help with logos and their websites and this and that. And like, it was weird. It was kind of like an overnight thing a little bit. It just took off. And then I was busy, and it just started just steadily growing, and, started meeting people in the industry. And of course, I worked in an archery shop as my first job when I was like 14 years old. Like legally, like probably wasn't even allowed to work, but I was helping this guy, and I loved, hunting and archery and stuff from a young age. And so I learned how to work on bows, and I'd go spend the summer at my dad's house because my parents were divorced, and worked on all these bows. So I knew some people kind of in the industry around, and like, I knew, it was something I was super passionate about. I just didn't know how to get into it.
Right.
And well, then on my Facebook, I like people talk about social media being, a bad thing and this and that for certain things. And I agree, for certain things it is, but for business, like back then it was good. Like you
Yeah.
could grow a business and meet people really well. And, it was a super good tool. So I just utilized it, and well, here I sit in 2022. And so it's like, it just kind of took off, and then picked up, some pretty good clients along the way. And then word of mouth too, it was kind of one of those things like, he's doing work for people, and then they were, refer you to somebody else. And, it just kind of, I think the
Yeah.
work too, it's like, I'm not saying I'm the best designer out there. I mean, there's some super talented people, and I love looking at other guys, Lyle Hebel and, some of those others, that man, dude, I love his illustrations. And, I've even met Lyle, and it's like, but I love watching his stuff. And then Chris Brewer and Joel Pilcher and like those guys, dude, they do such good work. And it's like, I mean, we all like, Chris Brewer and I, like, we've worked together on a lot of projects, and he owns Zulu 6 out of Salt Lake there.
Mm-hmm.
And we've worked together on a lot of stuff. And like, I love just seeing what he comes up with. And for me, you get people out there who are like, oh, I want the business. And, they're kind of cutthroat a little bit, and try to, oh, well, if you don't use me, you're no one, type of a thing. And it's like,
Right.
I don't care about that. Like, to me, dude, I've had clients over the years that, it's like, hey, I'm going to use somebody else, it's just they're closer to me or this or that. And I'm like, hey, go for it. Like, there's no hard feelings. Like, I don't care. And it's like, if you're happy and you get good work out of it, I can appreciate good work. Like, if somebody designs something and I'm like, that's cool, I love that,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Like, to me, like, I'm not jealous about it. Like, it's like, show
Yeah.
me something cool,
And that
So
attitude gets you farther, honestly, in this, especially, I mean, probably in most industries, but especially in this industry, it's such a small like world and community. Like, reputation's important, and I feel like at the end of the day, you're better off like having that kind of more relaxed attitude than being all cutthroat and trying to like, be super intense about it.
I would agree with you 110% on that. Like, and that's the thing. And I think when it comes to like building friendships, especially, it's like, how many friends have you had over the years where it's like, you get that one guy that comes in your life and you're just like, yeah, like, you're a good guy, but like, we're just, not maybe, gonna mesh super good because he's, got an attitude or an ego or something here or there, and
Hmm.
you can just tell. And it's like, consequently, you kind of don't spend a lot of time around that type of a person. But then it's like, you got all these other people over here that are like just great human beings. And it's like, you associate with them all the time. And like, those are the people that you love. And that's how I look at business too. It's like, my clients, it's like, I've been working with a lot of them for 6, 8, 10, some of them since the very beginning, 11, 12 years, and it's like, I love it because it's like, you build that relationship and that friendship over the years where it's
Hmm.
like, you can just talk to them. It's like, dude, I mean, heck, half my clients, I swear they need something done. And we end up talking about life or upcoming hunts or,
Yeah,
this or that along the way. And it's like, it's a friendship,
for
rather
sure.
than, just, hey, cutthroat business, I need this. It is what it is. It's like, no, like, we've actually built friendships over the years.
Hmm.
And so to me, that's who I want to work with, are people
Yeah.
that are just good people.
Yeah,
And
because
so,
even if like you don't maybe get that account or whatever, like if you don't burn that bridge, they're more likely to say, "Oh, well, refer you to somebody or whatever, it may be." And
yeah.
so, anyway, but so I see you got your loophole hat on,
Yep.
and okay, I got full disclosure here. Luke Dusenberry is a friend of mine, so he gave me a sneak peek of the film you guys got coming out, and I don't want to give any spoiler alerts. I don't know how much you can even say,
Yeah.
but before we get there, what's your relationship with Loophole?
Yeah. So Loophole, I know a lot of the people over there. I'm actually building some t-shirts for them right now. It's in hats. Funny that you say that, but yeah. So I love everyone. I mean, Michael and Scott and Lucas and, well, Riza used to work there, and but Tim still does, her husband, and he's great guy. And so basically, Loophole, it's kind of more of like, I would say, a friendship. It's like, I love their products. I like, absolutely, hands down, like, have zero bad to say. Are you still there?
Yeah, let me. I'm listening. My camera battery just died. I'll replace
Okay.
it though. But we're good.
You want me to keep
Sorry about
talking?
that. Yeah, hold on one sec. Let me just throw another battery in here. All right. All right, I'm back. Sorry about
Good.
that.
You're good. Yeah. So like, I love every single thing about Loophole and like all their products, and it's like, we actually went down and met with them back in 2017-ish, maybe, I guess, like Phelps and myself and Nick Schmidt and Charlie and a couple of the other guys. And we did a series on, like, it was Angry Mountain Productions was our company that we had. And we filmed a whole season and put out a whole video series. And they were part of it back then. And it just like, I, to me, it's back to the relationship thing. It's like, is there, people out there, they're like, hey, use this product or that, it's the best. And it's like, does everything that they make, is it 100% top of the line? maybe not. You know what I mean? But it's
Hmm.
like at the end of the day, like to me, that's not what matters. It's like I want the friendship. And if the product gets it done for me in the field and it works, and it's like, that's what I care about,
Yeah.
and the people along the way. Granted, I will say I've not had any of their stuff let me down, and like I love everything that they make, but I don't want to sit here and sound like a hey, you only have to use loophole, and like that's it. There's a lot of great products on the market, but me, I love their stuff, and it works, and it's to me, like if I was going to tell someone to use, some scopes or binoculars or this or that, like I'd be like, I'll give you a hard sell,
Yeah.
but but
Yeah.
we won't go there. So,
No, that's
um,
cool.
yeah,
But
but
I was just gonna say, so if you're listening, when does that film come out? Do you know?
yeah, so August 2nd. So
Okay.
we got it. We got a date. And so it's going to be co-branded. So Loopold is releasing the film, and then Eastman's Hunting Journals
Oh,
is
nice.
putting that bull on the cover. And then
Ooh.
yeah, and then they're going to do a big, so when it hits mailboxes, it's going to have a Loopold like wrapper around it for where people to like tell them to go watch the film.
Nice.
So basically we can talk about it. I mean, so Luke filmed this hunt. We had a
It's some of the coolest elk hunting footage I've ever seen, honestly.
yeah, dude. I
So
mean,
unique.
it's super unique, and like just the way it went down and like everything, with like where the elk ended up, and like when we shot it and that type of thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
so cool.
it's once in a lifetime. Luke and I were sitting there. The stuff you don't see on the film is like us sitting there just talking to each other of like how cool this is. It's like with me being a designer, and I love photography and I love everything about that, and like marketing, and it's like just watching everything go on. It's like this is some of the coolest stuff I'm ever going to see in my life,
Yeah.
regardless if we ever kill this thing or not. Like this
Yeah,
is
it's really cool.
yeah. So yeah, that we had such a good time. And I I'm kind of, it's like one of those things. I spotted a really big bull the day before opener,
Hmm.
and Luke wasn't with me then. Excuse me. Luke wasn't with me then. And I spotted this bull, and I was like, man, we got to go up there like opening morning. It's going to be there. We're going to kill it. Like this film is not going to be good, but hey, it's like, are you really going to pass up that big of a bull? And
Right.
so we hemmed and hawed about it, laying in the trailer the night before opener, and it was just like you can't not go shoot the thing. But it was like, how are we going to make this a story? Because wake up, make coffee, drive, park, hike, and shoot it. It was just kind
Yeah.
of like, this isn't going to be anything. Well, then obviously it turns out like the best thing that ever happened was that bull not showing, because then it gave us 4 days to kind of make a story and find some
Yeah.
more epic and this and that, and have some close calls along the way. I mean, I let another really good bull walk at 143 yards,
I
and
remember, yeah.
yeah, and so like we had such cool experiences, and it was just like a lot of the little stuff along the way that really made that hunt. Granted, it was only 3 days and a morning long,
Yeah.
but I
I mean,
mean,
if your worst problem like is killing an elk too fast, that's a good problem to have.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that. And here, here's the other thing, and I don't, anyone that watches this film, I don't want people to like take away from the film and be like, oh, you're a trophy hunter, because it's like that's not what was the premise of the film. It's like I wanted to kill a big bull. I waited a long time to like draw that tag. And
Yeah.
so it's like, to me, I've only drawn that elk tag. I had a Montana elk tag, and then we got New Mexico elk tags a couple years ago. So like in my life, all the bulls that I've ever killed, I've had like 3 special tags, and that's it. So it's like I just wanted to do this tag justice, and for once kind of hold out and get a bigger bull, because I'm always the type of person, I'm like equal opportunity elk hunter. I'm like, oh, it's got horns, I'm shooting it.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of, I knew that there's some big bulls in this country, and I had a really good friend of mine, Ron Nizelek, and he had kind of helped me out and gave me some spots to go check and this and that. Obviously, it's just spots to check. Not, he didn't tell me that, hey, there's elk standing here,
Sure.
go find them. But so it was like, I let a bull go, a couple bulls actually, that most guys would probably,
Yeah. Because I
guided.
remember watching the film and being like, whoa, you passed that thing? But
Yeah,
then like when you see the circumstances of the one you did shoot, it's like, oh, that's okay. Good job.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, but it's all running through your mind though at the same time, right? It's like, you know, did I do the right thing? You know,
Yeah,
am I gonna
especially making a film. Like you don't know if that's gonna happen again.
exactly like you don't know if you're ever gonna get another shot on film. And so, you know, it just kind of like turned into one of those things. And like I was okay not killing one. I'll be honest. It's like I wanted to fill the tag, but I was like, you know, at the end of the day, like if we don't kill one, like it is what it is, and we're gonna suffer the consequences. And Loophole might be pissed, but you know, it is what it is. But I had a whole month. Like the tag was, you know, the 1st to the 31st of October, so it's like I had a month to hunt, and you know, thankfully it comes back to being self-employed because I was prepared. I was like, I'm hunting all 31 days until I kill one, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, it is what it is. So obviously I wanted to do it quick because the elk, you know, in beginning of October, they're still rutting, you know, they had cows. And so I was like, my odds at killing a big one are going to be better right off the bat than after
Right.
the rut stops. But yeah, so we obviously ended up finding that big bull the day before, and then went and, you know, I didn't get a shot at him. And then the next day we ended up killing it. And it just was so cool. Like that morning, you know, we got out there and the sun's coming up. And the weird thing was, is like we had these elk pegged the night before, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be right here. And when they weren't there the next morning, I'm like glassing miles across, like up these big hills, and I see a big bull and another big bull and like groups of cows and then another bull over here. And I'm like, Luke, like we screwed up. I'm like, these elk are got out of here and like they're way, you know, 5 miles away type of thing. And like we just played this wrong.
Yeah.
And well, then I bugled, and well, long story short, we end up hearing this bull, and they just moved up this canyon, like upriver, like a mile and a half, but we didn't see him for the first hour and a half ish, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bugled, and finally, like that bull, he piped off, and his bugle was like echoing down the canyon.
Mm.
And I looked at Luke and I was like, there's a bull here somewhere, but do you know where that came from? And he's like, no, I have no idea. I said, me either. And I happened to just look up in the middle of the river, like a mile and a half away, and here's cows coming out of the trees, just funneling out into the river.
Mm.
And then the big bull stepped out and was just standing there. And it was just like the coolest thing ever. I mean, I
It's
remember,
so cool.
yeah, Luke and I looked at each other, and it was like one of those things. And we were like, holy cow, like this is so cool. But then we were kicking ourselves because we were like, we're way too far downriver. You know, we're in the wrong spot. We need to be up there, which we were up there 2 days before in the evening. And, you know, it just kind of was like one of those things that we literally just thought we messed up. And
Yeah.
then lo and behold, like they worked their way all the way down the river in front of us, and then ended up killing that bull. Like they were going into bed in the same chunk that they were in the night before.
That's
And
awesome, dude.
yeah, so it worked. And it
Yeah.
was that footage. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, it's like
Beautiful.
those elk, and it's so
Yeah.
cool.
So,
So
guys, yeah, I didn't want to give away too much, but definitely be on the lookout for that one. Like, was it August 2nd? Is that right?
yeah, August 2nd. It's called Rivers Bend.
Yeah. And I'm not exaggerating. It's some of the coolest elk hunting footage I've ever seen. So definitely check that out. So I'm curious, though, because I got so I did a podcast with Luke, and we kind of hit it off, and it just we started talking, and it worked out. We're actually going to do a hunt together in October, and we're both going to team up filming it. And it'd be cool because it's going to be the first trip where we're going to just do like spot it, got it, and I'm going to film him, and he's going to film me. And we're both going to hunt. And I think this is his first time he's actually like done a hunt where he's actually, I mean, he hunts, of course, but like
Yeah.
done a film project where he's actually hunting as well.
Right. Right.
So, but did you guys did you pitch that to Loophole before the hunt, or did you come with a product after and say, "Hey, you guys interested in this?"
Yeah, no. So of course, knowing, you know, a lot of the people over at Loophole, when I drew the tag, you know, we talk and whatnot. And so it was just kind of like, hey, you know, they're doing their anyone's hunt campaign.
Hmm.
So you know, I mean, heck, anyone can go on right now, submit a video, and Loophole's going to pick a few hunts to film this fall. They did it last year too, and they'll actually send a camera guy. They'll probably send Luke, I think, depending what time of year it is, and they're going to send someone and film your hunt. So if, you know, for a pitch for Loophole right now, if you want to have your hunt filmed, go to their website, fill out the application, and submit a little video, and you might be a lucky person that gets your hunt filmed this fall. But I knew, obviously people over there, and we talk all the time, and I'm testing product and using stuff here and there. But when I drew the tag, like I just told him, I was like, hey guys, like, I was like, I drew this really good tag I've been waiting a long time for. And I think Scott over there, it might've been Scott or Lucas. I think it was Scott. And he was like, what are the details? And I just told him where, it was at, and, briefly where it was at and this and that. And he's like, okay, cool. We're sending a camera guy with you. And I was like,
Nice.
Okay, sounds good. So it was just, it was more of a, hey, like they just made the decision like right off the bat. And it was like, we're sending somebody with you to film that.
Nice.
It's going to be good. And then they got Luke and, went from there. So
Cool, man.
yeah.
That's awesome. So you do some filming too, don't you?
Yeah. I've done filming, a lot of photography.
Dang it. Sorry, keep going. You're good. Just got to replace it. Don't worry
Okay.
about it.
So yeah, I've done a lot of, photography and stuff and over the years in filming. I filmed with Phelps and whatnot. We were filming hunts and stuff, back when it was kind of before it became cool, I guess. And so, it was like, I've been running a camera for a long time, doing a lot of photography and stuff on my own. And like, I love that, everything about, filming and whatnot. And then, I've done a lot of stuff too for clients, product photography and, stuff like that. Filmed, I actually went down and filmed Ryan Callahan with Meat Eater.
I heard you mention that on Cody's podcast.
Yeah. Back in, what year was that? 2018, 19, maybe 2019, I think. And I was actually calling elk and filming. So it was like kind of a cool deal because it was like I was the caller and then running the camera at the same time.
That's cool.
And those two things don't necessarily go hand in hand because as the camera guy, you want to be on the guy's hip and like getting the footage. You're trying to call the bull past the guy. And so, but I ended up calling in a 320 bull to Ryan with his longbow, like 8 yards, and he smoked it. So yeah, that was kind of cool. But so I've run a camera quite a bit. And I love just, the aspect of photography and everything. I think like on my Wyoming hunt last year, that was one of the coolest things about being with Luke, where it was just the two of us, because it was like, he knows what he's doing. He loves, everything. And like, he's super talented. And it was cool to be with a guy like that. But it was awesome. Like when we got down to the point, like when we finally killed the elk and we were getting ready to take the pictures and stuff, it was like, okay, we're going to get the elk here. We're going to use this setting, this lens type of thing, and it was just like quick, boom. We were both on the same page and there was no like, oh, hey, do this, do that. It was kind of like, I had some shots in my head that I wanted. And then, Luke had his, and it was like, we just worked really good as a team together when it came to that, because we both knew what was going on with the equipment,
Yeah, for sure.
And so that was fun for me, because usually I'm the guy that's like, trying to teach, whoever's with me, like, okay, adjust this, do that. Okay. Get down here, get this angle. And so it just worked really good, like having Luke there. And I don't know if you've seen any of the stills he got, but like he got some awesome shots on that thing. And
I don't know if I have.
Yeah. We got a whole folder, but it's like, he did such a good job. And like, I give him so much credit, and it was just, he's super talented. And it was just fun to like be with someone like that, where we just both understood what was happening,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing this hunt with him, man. And we talked about it. I think we're going to try to not really pitch it to anybody before, just keep it like no pressure kind of deal during the hunt. And then if we get some good stuff, then we might try to see if anybody's interested in it, kind of thing,
Dude, from being in my shoes and like dealing with people all the time, because I'm building media kits for these big companies and stuff, and other guys that are out there like wanting to bring in sponsors to do a film or a series or this or that. I get people all year long that are like, hey, build me this media kit and these packages and, 15 or, 12, 16, 18, 20 page, whatever it ends up being. And they're pitching them, they go to SHOT Show and Expo and all these shows like, hey, I want to do this film. These companies get so many people that hit them up.
Yeah.
It's like, And then you put pressure on yourself. Like as me being in both sides and having, been the person that's pitched these companies. And then at the same time, like last year, just having like Leupold say, hey, like we're sending somebody with you, to film this. Um, you know, it's a different like mentality. But the biggest thing I could say is do what you're gonna do, because it's like you can go out, you can have fun, you guys film, do your thing, and there's no expectation at the end of it.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like we're gonna capture this, and then we'll see what happens. And then if it's great, we'll pitch it to somebody, and people will jump on board if it's good.
Right.
Um, but I'll say you're probably going to do a better job of filming because you have no expectation.
Mm. Yeah.
And like some of the best footage that I've got has been me out just with Kylie or, buddies, and just dinking around filming with nothing as an end result. And it turns out epic because
Right.
it's like,
You're
there
just
was
doing it to do it, and it's like enjoyable.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So honestly, I bet you guys will have a better film between the two of you doing that than you would if you went out right now and you were like Stone Glacier and Leupold and Onyx and whoever
Mm-hmm.
else are like just like pitching it. Like you guys will produce something better doing it on your own,
Yeah, I agree.
and go from
Yeah.
there.
And just yeah, like not having that pressure of like, oh, we gotta fill these tags. Like, I don't want to deal with that. I'd want to go out, enjoy the hunt, capture it as best as possible, and then if we got something really cool at the end, then I think people will be like, because at the same time, I mean, these companies, it's a risk to jump on something. I mean, it's a hunt. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. So, but if you say, hey, we filled this, we killed these animals, you can show something for it. It's gonna be much
Yeah,
easier and just more enjoyable all around. So,
exactly.
well, that's cool, man. Do you got any big hunts planned for this year?
Yeah, my other half and I, it kind of crazy. We moved to Montana, this past year and whatnot, and we only had a couple points. And then I was like, oh, we're not going to draw anything. And then we ended up drawing a couple of the best rifle elk tags in the state.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. And so I checked, and the cool thing is because last year, like Wyoming was just me. And so I know she wanted to be there so bad, but her work schedule at the hospital and being new, she just didn't have any time off.
Right.
And so
She
she
should
couldn't.
start a hunting company. Then she can just go with you.
That's what I know. We can do that. I know. But yeah. So, but that kind of sucks. So this year it was like, hey, whatever we do, like I want to do it together, and like September, we'll just hunt elk, a general over the counter unit here in Montana. And then, at least we're doing it together. And like, that was my biggest focus is I want to get her a bull with her bow. Like she has yet to kill him with her
Mm-hmm.
bow. Dude, you give her the gun, I swear, like she could walk out 1,000 yards and like just every time, it'd be like no big deal. She's just
Wow.
good with the rifle, but the bow, she gets so shaken up that it's like that buck fever, bull fever, like
Yeah.
she loses
Well,
it.
having that animal that close to you, man, it just like awakens some primal thing in you. It's like you just, yeah.
100%, I agree, and so it's so cool. And watching her, like I get more excited, watching her than even myself when I'm shooting. It's like
Yeah.
she I just loves seeing it. But so I put us in, and in eastern Montana this year they broke up a lot of the units, so you had to like pick a unit, and if you drew it, you were stuck there all year, and for archery or whatever. Well, of course, I put in, I was like, oh, well, we'll put in for a rifle tag. That way, if we draw, we'll have to archery hunt it. But then we can go back with a gun.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think we'd ever draw it. And dude, we drew. And so I was like, you got to be kidding me. So now we're there for 6 weeks of archery and then go back with a gun for 5 weeks. But I've hunted that country with a bow. We actually drew archery tags there in 2019. And I mean, dude, it was so fun. We had bulls running everywhere and like, I mean, some big bulls. And at the time I joked and I was like, I can't imagine coming back with a gun and hunting this because I mean, if you spent a week there, I mean, you're going to smash a giant. And so then we end up drawing it this year. So
That's sick,
now
man.
like kind of the pressure of, killing one with a bow is off, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to do it with a bow versus a gun. So we have
You gonna
that.
make a film of it or?
Yeah. Like I actually have Luke signed up to come and film it. Uh,
Nice. Oh
so
yeah, you
yeah,
told me about that.
yeah. So I reached out, and this is kind of one of those things that I paid Luke and I was like, hey, dude, like, come film this. But we don't have any expectation. It was like, let's go do this and film it. and then we'll see where it goes, and then we'll do something with it after. But like,
Cool.
I'll pay you to come out. Let's just go get some cool footage and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And so mainly because of that, what I told you, and like with Kylie, I don't want to put pressure on it.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's
That's
just film it. And
that's perfect. And now I feel better about my decision too.
oh, dude, I think you did the smartest thing ever.
Yeah.
So,
So
but other,
are you gonna do any deer hunting out there this year?
yeah, so we'll just hunt general deer like in
Nice.
November. And
So I
then,
drew that tag this year too, so I'll be out there.
oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Come like mid-November, like the
Yeah.
5th through the 15th is
I
getting good.
Yeah, I may be. So my Idaho hunt ends the last day of October. I'm gonna come home for like a week or something, and then the plan right now is I'm gonna go meet up with like Brian and Ryan and Mark and those guys and Brad. But they have a lot of guys in their camp, and like Paley and Mark's son are gonna be there, and they want to. So I don't want to. I don't want to sound selfish, but I have a tag. I want to fill it. So I
Yeah.
might like share a base camp with them and do my own thing, or I might just do my own thing completely. I'm not sure how it's going to go down yet, but I'll be
Yeah.
there till about 2 or 3 days before Thanksgiving and then head home.
Perfect. Yeah, that'll be good time. I mean, those deer, kind of rut. I mean, we went a couple years ago. It was like the 5th of November we showed up. And I mean, dude, we were done by the 9th and killed 4 bucks. And I mean,
Nice.
some big ones too. So
And the good thing about me at this point in my journey is I don't care about like a huge buck. Like I want like a mature deer. That's all I
sure,
really care about.
you'll do it. I mean, no problem. There's so many deer in Montana.
Yeah.
So my
Cool.
only thing this year, I hunt whitetails every year in Washington. I always go back and hunt whitetails,
Nice.
and that's kind of I can buy a tag over the counter, just go do it, and
Hmm.
I've killed some big deer over there, and so this year I'm
Heck, if
kind
you're
of
in Virginia, you can get 6 whitetail tags.
6.
Hmm.
Dude, I'm doing it wrong out here. I guess I only get one,
Yeah, I
but
killed 6 whitetails last year, man.
that's
And
crazy.
if you want more, you just buy more. Like,
Well, it's probably a good thing they don't do that here because people be shooting everything up.
I
But
know.
um, yeah, so I'm gonna hunt the Montana deer. Well, if we haven't killed our elk, we're gonna hunt elk,
Yeah.
obviously here, and then mule deer, and then I'll go back to Washington probably around the 15th and hunt whitetails until probably the end of November there until I kill one. And but yeah, I got a couple of bucks I was watching last year still that I'm like, I gotta go track one of those down and find them. So I got a hit list of deer over the years, and I kind of just like pick one and check it off till I kill it. And the one I killed last year is like 7.5-year-old buck and just like
Ooh,
big old
nice.
deer. And so I got two right now that are, well, one of them's like he'll be a mid 170s deer, and I'm gonna try to find that deer and
Nice,
whack it.
man.
But we'll
Cool.
see. So,
Cool. Did
and then
you?
Washington's the kicker. I'm still waiting to see if I draw my elk tag. I got 20 points there, but
Ooh,
they're
20?
20, but their draw
Wow.
system's all screwed up. So I don't know if I'll draw.
Wow,
But
man. That's awesome. Are you doing okay on time? I know you said you had an appointment or something.
yeah, I got about 5-10 minutes here and then I'll have to bounce.
Okay.
So
That's cool. Well, we can go ahead and wrap it up, man. This has been pretty good conversation. You got something to do, but I'd love to have you back on sometime. Maybe we could talk some more. But my camera died again, but that's okay. Where can people find your stuff, and like where would that film be coming out and all that, and like if people want to see some of that stuff?
yeah, so the film, I believe at this point is going to be dropping or premiering on the Loophole YouTube channel on August 2nd. And then as far as my work goes, apexadvertising.co, it's just .co.
Hmm.
That's my website. It's got a lot of my design work and everything on there. And then social media wise, just Facebook or Instagram at Jon Gabrio. It's just JonGabrio.
Cool.
And so if they want to find me, they can go from there. But
You've done
yeah,
some epic hunts, man, too. I've seen on there. You did. Where was your goat hunt? Was that in Canada or?
yeah, that was northern BC.
Okay.
I went up there in 2018, and I think I might go back next year and try to get one with my bow. But
Nice.
yeah, I love that country. I mean, I work with that outfitter and do a lot of their marketing and whatnot,
Okay.
and their design work. But I want to go back so bad and get one with my bow. But it was that was a special hunt, like with the goat. I shot it on my dad's 70th birthday.
Oh,
and
nice.
like he wasn't there, and goats are his favorite thing, and so it's like it was just that was a super super special
That's
hunt.
cool, man. Yeah,
But
I I booked a Dall sheep hunt for
ooh,
23.
ooh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Bassham helped me out, and I was like, he knew a guy that had a cancellation. I'm like, it's not getting any cheaper. I'm not getting any younger, and I always want to do it one day. And I was like, you know what? Just gonna do it.
Yeah. That's the thing, it's like I know it's a big sacrifice, with certain, things and money and commitment and time and family understanding it and this and that. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you get one shot at life. And it's
Yeah.
like the older you get, you're probably not going to go do some of these epic hunts. And so
Yeah.
it's like
And they
if
literally are jumping up like 7 to 10,000 like every year, and that might go to an all draw for non-residents soon.
Exactly. So it's like you gotta just jump on it and do it. I know it's a big coin, and like, but here's the thing, Cody. I mean, we joke about this all the time, but it's like if you want to start a side hustle business and just make like 10 or 15, $20,000, anybody could do that so easy. And guess what? It's just a little sacrifice that you have to go through here and there. But if you want something bad enough, you're gonna do it. And it's
Yeah.
like that's my biggest thing. Like, I got, my own stuff, it's like, hey, I want to go on a moose hunt and a caribou hunt up there. And it's like, trying to figure out with Kylie, obviously just twice as expensive now to go.
Yeah.
But it's like, what could we do? And,
Yeah. And those prices aren't coming down, so that's why I was just like, just jump
you
on
gotta,
it.
yeah,
Well, dude, I don't like I said, I know you got to go, so I don't want to open up a whole other can of worms, but
yeah,
I don't know if you're a man of faith or not, but definitely I feel like God has had his hand on your life just from even everything from being like a ninth grader and deciding you want to learn coding. And it just, I can tell that, like, that he's got his hand on your life, man. He's led you down the right path and stuff. So
for sure.
I'm stoked to have met you, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to jump back on anytime. And I'll think what we should do it again. I'm going to think of some stuff I can drill you on and ask you some
Yeah,
questions.
that'd be cool,
People,
man. I'd love to
people,
maybe even team up for an adventure one day. Who knows?
yeah, absolutely. People need to get to know you too. So we'll do that.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, thanks again for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.